Let's just give me a moment to reset links. I should have written these first. Oh well. I'm at where I'm at. I've got another 12 hours worth, which I will not be using even remotely that much of. Let's take a look. Let's see. Put that stream up. Okay. There we go. That's set up there. That's off. Send off to YouTube or Twitter rather. Oh wait, hold on. Let's see what's going on here. Oh really? I didn't look at this in it for an hour. Jesus. I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's an interesting article header that I will not actually read until later. Let's see. So, that was an incredible final fight. I feel like I, actually got to fight him this time as opposed to before. That was a really tough final bout, and I'm really happy I got it on Ultimate 3. But at the same time, like, man, I got a bad hand. I got a bad setup there because like what I needed most for Storm was the blessing thing, right? I needed to be able to kickstart her hand right away, or I guess I could have used some of her hitters without necessarily, I could have used some of her major hitters, right? I could have, let me just pop this up for a second. I could have used, I had Arc, so I could do, I mean, that wasn't going to do me much at 1. I could have marked someone, I guess that could have helped, but then the problem was the real threat, right? The real threat in that fight was, of course, that he was able to fucking, like, frenzy out during my turn. So it's like, every 3 moves that I make, he gets to do a crazy move where he gets to hit me twice for a shitload of damage. Including, in some instances, a move where he hits every single one of my characters at once. It was insane, right? So, like, Storm was, and that's the problem, right? Is Storm is a character that's built, she's incredibly strong, but she gets even stronger if you let her power build a little bit, right? And if I had rolled Goddess's Blessing on that first turn, I could have really had something special there, right? I could have turned her into a powerhouse right out the gate, and then I would have been able to coast on her earlier cards a little earlier. Instead, she got absolutely butt fucked up and down. It was hilarious. it was real fucking rough. I now that I think about it, oh, I actually didn't think about that. Yeah, so that's the thing. I learned earlier today. God, I wonder if they do this in her fucking Midnight Suns challenge to teach you. They might actually do that on purpose. That Livewire stuns, also binds, cancel a boss's frenzy. And so they let you fight him with Storm, a character that has a lot of stun in her deck. Oh my god. I'm so stupid. That's what I was missing there, is she has a lot of moves. She has Livewire, which I did have on that first turn. I could have stunned him out of his next move, right? Because all the other vampires around him, they're a threat, right? But it's like, they don't get turns. He can frenzy during my turn, so as long as I can keep things moving, it's okay. But instead, I ended up in the situation where it's like, fucking, she goes down, Blade goes down, and it's like, Venom is the only character in that. Okay, let's go up to Blade for a second. So Blade's deck is extremely proficient at high damage, but he needs to set it up first, right? And I understand some people's issue with that, in that a lot of characters can, even Deadpool, who, can fucking just shoot the gun for 250 damage, although that's expensive, right? But he also has mag dumps, so that's like 500 damage in exchange for 5 points, right? And it gets cheaper as you fuego up, right? It's like, he can cash out that damage easier, quote unquote, than Blade, although he also has a lot of setup mechanics, right? There are basically people that feel like, well, if a character has to set up their damage in any capacity, they're bad. It's like, I don't think that's true. I think there's room for that. I do understand why someone would look at someone like an Iron Man, who can just do Surgical Strike, or Hellfire Beam, or Air Superiority on every single enemy. Did my door just mysteriously open? Okay. What? Anyways, where was I? Right. People think like, oh well, Iron Man can do a shitload of damage to every enemy on the map at once. It's like, yes, he can, at a high cost. It's like he has to, in order to make that worth it, he has to dump redraws into it. There's still setup that's involved. Hi, bud. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed you. I had to put you out earlier because you were being a little shit. Or something like Hellfire Beam. But even Hellfire Beam, to get a lot of damage out of it, you have to put redraws into it, right? It's like something like Nico, or the chance, high damage, but it can come in very different forms, right? A lot of the characters need some form of setup, right? Magic needs setup. Ghost Rider has some hard-hitting attacks, right? But even he can make them better via some other means and a little bit of setup. But he also has to sacrifice a lot of his own juice to do it, right? So I don't particularly think the argument that Blades, need to set up high amounts of bleed to cash it out is like a weakness, because I think most of the characters in the game actually do need some form of setup, and I think that's fine, especially because when you stack those bleeds right, that is an absurd amount of damage. Now, here's an interesting thing about that fight I'm realizing now that it's done. They send you in with let's take a look at let's set up, right. So we have Blade, who can apply a lot of bleed. We have Blade, who can apply a lot of bleed to multiple enemies, and then it can recover health with this card. But I was never able to, right? There are two cards that they give you. There are the two characters they let you fight him with: Venom, Storm. So, oh, hello! You just tackled me again.
Oh, he's a sweet boy. Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry. I didn't like putting you out earlier either. But you were being a little shit. Thank you. Right. So like, I'm just fucking bugged out. So like, Blade is high level damage dealer in that scenario. He has an enormous amount of cachet in terms of how he's going to do that fight, I think. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not upset that I did get it, because the way I got it was hilarious and amazing, and the fact that I got it on camera makes me even happier. But I do think, in hindsight, I'm seeing how that fight's supposed to go. That fight is supposed to, ideally, be saved by Venom being able to bind him, which he has several options to. He has a 10% chance to bind any target on this one, which is not great, but, it's helpful. It's possible. He has... Oh, yeah, one mistake that I absolutely made there, though, was that I should have had Tendril Strike instead of Devouring Strike. I like Devouring Strike a lot, but as much as I hate to say it, like, he needed attack options in that scenario to take down... He has a 3... Well, technically it's a 2-hitting chain. But he has a 2-hitting chain out the gate, so he could have been cracking down on the small vampires while he was doing damage to Dracula as well. So that was a big mistake I made. That's something that if I'd gone back, I would have corrected that. So that's something that I would have tried to fix. I don't know if Web Toss would have helped. Honestly, couldn't say. But ideally, Venom's A game... Basically, I think the way that fight is supposed to work, because again, they're not sending you in with characters that you get to pick. You have to use those ones. So they have to have a certain level of synergy that makes sense when you get through it. And I think the logic of the fight, which in hindsight, if I could have spec'd for properly, I think, or if I could have... The thing is, I can't even say, like, oh, if I could have if my cards had rolled right, because in the fight I actually said, oh, I got a really shit hand here. Here's the problem. I actually didn't. At least not as bad as I thought, right? Because I actually had a saving grace that I wasn't using, which was Livewire. So, I had a Livewire in the initial hand. That means, at least at the start, I could have locked Dracula down when I tried to... when he was going to go into Frenzy, I could have locked him down right there. That would have helped. It would have helped enormously. Call the Lightning would have helped for... Storm has a shitload of AoE and knockback abilities and chain abilities. And the fact that Arc is really good, but Arc needed one more hit. Arc needed to get that extra chain in order to get really going, right? The thing is, this would have actually been helpful even at the start, even without Forceful. Rolling Goddess's Blessing, though, obviously would have made a huge difference. Storm Shield is essential because, like, at the end of the day, like, that shit, even though it doesn't protect from Drac, which is, helpful, obviously, it'll still help protect from the vamps at the end of turns. So I think the way that fight is kind of supposed to work is, like, you're supposed to stun the shit out of him with that. You're supposed to have a good amount of Storm cards in your hand so that you can keep doing stuff like Call the Lightning and Goddess's Blessing, keep calling more cards into your hand, and then like you'd be able to use her passive to, like, keep raising the chance of stunning him. And unfortunately, I saw that a little too late, and I didn't quite piece together how the fight was supposed to work until afterwards. Hilariously, I didn't need it because Venom is so good that he literally soloed that motherfucker. Who needs the last straw in the eternal battle of who would win, a space alien or fucking Dracula? The answer is the space alien, apparently. Now, that being said, Tendril Strike would have helped enormously for clearing out the Vamps, because it is a free, multi-hitting chain strike that I've modded with an extra chain that would have helped a lot. Even though Assimilation helped me, it also Assimilation, the fact that Assimilation works the way that it does, right? It was able to sustain me for basically a full a turn that managed to help me clear the entirety of the board eventually, and I kept it going, all on the strength of Assimilation, even though it was a one-cost use. And then, even when it was gone, my biggest foe was the fact that I no longer had decent ways to generate heroism. I could still use this move, and it was still very strong, but what I really needed was another option at moments where I was getting fucked. And unfortunately, I made the bonehead decision to come in with Devouring Strike. And Devouring Strike is quite good, but I think in that situation, it let me down, because it is a chain attack that was going to let me take out a bunch of enemies, but it has a heroism cost. And what I really needed was moves that I could sustain myself. Lethal Embrace was the only attack card I brought. And, like, that was my fuck up. That was where I fucked up. Tendril Strike would have helped quite a bit, but at the end of the day, holy shit, Venom and his weird creepy toes that I've just noticed for the first time. Wow. Venom pulled that out of his weirdly well-shaped ass. Blade, if I could have just kept him up long enough. Or, here's the thing, right, is I have on KO gain concealed on this motherfucker. That's an option I could have used to keep him out of harm's way, right? If I had Quick Strike, that's a thing that I've kind of lulled myself into, is I think that actually really works well on his Quick Strike. It's also thematically appropriate because he's a vampire, right? Yeah. Stealth, visible. It works. It was a really good pull, I think. But, man, that dude gets in, and it's over. I think my hindsight understanding of that fight now is that you have to rely on the fact that he has. Another thing I should probably admit is I probably should have brought a Phoenix Pinion thing. I needed the saving grace to call someone back. If I could have, in the middle of that hilarious bit at the end where I was fighting as just Venom, if I could have sacrificed half of Venom's health and then tasted to get his health back, that would have been incredible. And especially depending on who it was, I actually don't know who I would rather pull back. Honestly, it would have probably been smarter to pull Blade in Storm, because Storm's good at dealing with the crowd control, right? But yeah, that fight was awesome, and I was happy that they threw a fight at me that I felt like oh man, like that feels like a really good, great, rad fight that I cannot help but adore. Especially because it let me properly see Dracula's moveset, which is something I didn't really get to in the other DLC episodes because I wiped the floor with them too fast. And I think they might have actually taken that feedback. I sure hope that's not the last fight they ever designed. And that's not like the fight finale of Midnight Suns, because that would be so upsetting. But anyway, so we've been talking for about 20 minutes about how the fight went wrong. Let's actually go talk to the characters. Oh yeah, we also got a tease for what might happen next time, of course. So that's also awesome. Hi, bud. Thank you. Oh, I love you too. I'm so happy with these 4 characters, and I'm just gonna have to be honest, I will not take no for an answer on more.
Ancient one.
Like I have a choice. You can't tease more story like that at the end of this season and then still be like, oh, we're not gonna make more. Like, it's too bad. You already cashed the check. It's too late.
Chaos magic. 2 months of fighting Lilith. Hopefully not that many to go.
Are the characters not gonna have any lines about, the fact that you just fucking killed Dracula?
Que pasa, Hunter? Man, I just wish I could have brought my brother Gabe along. He loved this place.
Where is everybody? Ah! A shitload of them are at the pool, and the rest of them are, for the first time ever, at what appears they are actually hanging out for the first time at Deadpool's food truck. That's hilarious. What if you hadn't built it?
Oh, time flies when you're having fun, right, champ?
Characters are actually sitting at the food truck for the first time. That's amazing.
Hunter, you made it.
Look at all this dialogue. Wait, does everyone inside not have lines?
Hey, Hunter.
No Nico.
Walks among us.
Oh, wait.
I spend a lot of my focus on making sure I don't
No Wanda.
turn everyone into.
You're just...
Let's see.
I don't mind stretching my leg.
Sorry if I went a
A
little heavy
little
on the
upsetting,
aftershave.
but fine. At least everybody else has lines, I guess.
Enjoying the party.
Oh yeah, this is great. I don't get invited to a lot of parties, and when I do, I'm usually late to them.
You seem distracted.
Yeah. After defeating Dracula's menagerie of unholy fanged terrors, all we get to do is turn our attention back to Lilith's
I gotta eat
menagerie
after
of
this stream.
unholy spined terrors.
Peter, we are celebrating. Take the time to enjoy that we won.
You're right, Hunter. I'm just so used to jumping from one catastrophe to the next that my brain naturally assumes the crash position.
What do you normally do to unwind?
Stop bank robberies and purse snatchings? Come to think of it, I don't really unwind.
Sweet boy.
Maybe I'm perpetually wound.
Take a moment to breathe.
We sacrifice ourselves to preserve what is best in this world. It is all right to enjoy our accomplishments from time to time.
My spider sense can make it hard to relax. But I like the way you think. Okay, enough shop talk. I'll put on the proverbial party hat. Who wants to see me make balloon animals out of webbing? Huh?
Yeah, you know what, actually, since there's a lot of dialogue here, I'm gonna actually get food. Honestly, I think that's a good thing for me to do, so I can eat while, this cat is like, why did you get up? It's okay, bud. It's okay. It's okay. I don't suppose there's any movement at all on my copy of fucking, Tears of the Kingdom, which I'm starting to get the impression I'm not gonna get to play till Monday. Jesus. This shipment is carbon neutral. I don't care. I want the shipment to be here. Hi, bud. Yeah, let me just quickly peer over this, and then I'll go get something to eat on. I'll set up my eating space, and then, yeah. What are you doing, bud? Oh, he's climbed up on my back. Oh, no. Oh, man. Okay, bud. Time to get off my back now. Okay. Let me put this up here. And then... Yes, you do, in fact, have to get off my back. Okay, you didn't mean to. I understand. The ship? Where's it? That's interesting. Okay, well, anyway, when I'm back, I will return with food. And, yeah. The fuck? Where the fuck is it? Okay, I'll be back shortly. He didn't quite get the message that we were going back in my room, so he sort of ran back out. So, and I'm probably not going to hear him if he's out there crying, which sucks. But you know how it be. All right. So, get my general eating space nice and set up. Turn on the light, honestly, get nice and comfy, and possibly get ready to say goodbye to all of these wonderful characters. Well, I mean, as goodbye as one can say to an omnipresent force like Spider-Man and Captain America and Iron Man and Wolverine. But, you know, these versions have been some of the best. And if this is the end of the road, I would call that crushing more than heartbreaking. But it's both. Just listening in case he's outside the fucking door. I'm gonna open the door to see if he's there so that we don't have a traffic jam again. Okay, he's not. Alright. Anyway, we have plenty of dialogue left and little things to talk about. So I think we will have we'll have plenty of chances to talk about the broad scope, the lens of this game, and all the good it's done, and why it's hard to say goodbye, and also why we might not actually be saying goodbye. But, that's a discussion for a little bit later in this. I'm going to just go ahead and put this out. I just ended up pouring the rest of the fucking bag out. Because, honestly, I might need it. So if you heard chewing, sorry not sorry, but you wanted this fucking no commentary, better places to go than here.
All this excitement has really got me thinking about forming a team of my own. Spider-Man and his astonishing pals. His stupendous companions.
Ta-da! Our very own We 86 the Prince of Darkness party. There are also tacos.
Dracula is dead? You were certain?
But I wasn't there!
It can be. After Eddie located his castle, Blade led a strike team of Venom, Storm, Deadpool, and Morbius. Now there's no more Dracula. New breed vampires seem to be clearing up as well. So, any inspiring words to sum up this once only, fingers crossed, takedown of the vampire overlord of all time?
I wasn't fucking there. No one invited me.
That honor should go to someone who actually defeated him.
Not very inspiring, Hunter. Figured you'd have something to say about group effort, teamwork, etc. Maybe a pun about stakes.
Like, the stakes were high, but the team managed to drive the point home?
Yep, there it is.
Thanks for the memories?
Nah, too much.
Noted.
I won't keep you from the party, but make sure you speak with Blade before you leave.
Oh, about what?
The greatest vampire hunter we know defeated the granddaddy of all vampires. Vampires with a Y, and countless other fanged creatures of the night. I don't know, Hunter. What do you think you'd want to discuss?
How sick he is?
Carol, one last thing.
Yeah?
Did the team discover how Dracula made vampires?
You'll want to sit down for this one. It turns out that you're asking me about work when we're supposed to be celebrating. Go.
Lounge.
I needed that.
Really?
You have not set anything on fire today, have you? You do not seem very enthusiastic, Doctor. Something on your mind?
I was actually just thinking of Dracula. I had every confidence he would be defeated.
But...
Our enemy is vanquished, but it feels odd somehow to know a legendary figure, villain or not, has left this world forever.
You sound as if you pity him.
Not at all. If anything, it's misplaced nostalgia.
Yeah?
Dracula was more than just a fable from your books, Doctor.
You would think I'd be used to that by now, considering the company I keep.
It is not the type of thing most ever have to consider.
True. We should waste no more time on it.
It is a party.
Yes. And the tacos are unexpectedly
Why were
delightful.
Captain America and Iron Man not invited to the party?
You do not seem very in...
I was...
His end was well deserved.
There can be no denying the weight of his crimes against humanity. The world is better off without him.
Then it sounds as if you have come to terms with it after all.
Of course. I suppose I...
It is not the type of thing most ever have to consider.
True. We should waste no more time on it.
It is a party.
Yes. And the tacos are unexpectedly delightful.
This is a very good way to make it feel like the whole cast is involved. Though again, I'm not sure why some people are sitting it out.
Looking forward to our next mission. Hunter, buddy, talk to me.
Now that we've defeated Dracula, do you think I could become king of the vampires?
Is that something you aspire to?
Honestly, no. But Dracula's disappearance could create a power vacuum. Maybe it's better to take command of the situation now, rather than wait to see what fills the space.
I mean... I would trust you more.
We could use an army of vampires on our side.
Yes, but getting even 2 vampires to work together is like herding cats. Honestly, I'm not sure how Dracula managed.
Dracula herds cats?
Maybe. I wonder if that was his secret.
What would you do if you were in charge?
I don't know.
I was very smart to start this dream over.
You might struggle to convince the larger vampire families to stop feeding on innocent people.
Yes. And I'm sure Blade would blame me for that, too. Come to think of it, I don't want to deal with the headaches of jurisdiction. But a vampire can dream, can't he?
Even a living one.
I still haven't found the bathroom.
It's nice seeing everyone unwind. I'm glad we're doing this.
I agree. We deserve this.
Especially after defeating Dracula in Sin.
I heard you unleashed all your power onto her.
It was an exaggeration.
If I were you, I would have made sure Sin never saw the light of day again.
A decision I respect, but one I disagree with. Not every action needs to end in death, Hunter.
But she has caused people we care about so much pain.
The same can be said for the 2 of us. We don't stoop down to the same level as our enemies. Ever.
With the vampire situation taken care of, I hope that gives you some closure.
It does. I'm glad to see Dahlia here as well. That helps.
Wait, what?
Have you spoken with her yet?
Like at the party?
I want her to mingle with the rest of the Midnight Suns first.
It is nice to see her among friends.
I agree. I'm glad we got to give her that chance.
Welcome, Hunter.
Stop.
What is on your mind, Sarah?
Too many things.
As always.
To me, Dracula was eternal. A threat that would always lurk in the shadows.
Think of what other eternal threats the Midnight Suns could put to rest.
Let's enjoy this victory before we look to the next.
So what else is on your mind?
Blade. When he first came to the Abbey, he was lost, consumed by the emotions flowing from his vampire half. Slowly but surely, he clawed his way out of the darkness. That's when he became the person you know today.
The vampire hunter who defeated Dracula. It is a wonder to behold.
True, but his ultimate adversary is no more. I fear how that will affect him.
Blade has surpassed every hurdle before him. I think this achievement will be foundational.
Perhaps. But without direction, without his true north, where will he go? He's come so far. I couldn't stand to see him lose the life he's fought so hard to build. Will you help me ensure that he doesn't?
Oh.
Do not worry. I will keep an eye on Blade.
I'm counting on you, kiddo. Enough doom and gloom. You get enough of that from me already. Go enjoy the party. Spend time with your friends.
Alright, let me put away the food bowl and all this shit now. I'll be right back.
I know it's a lot to take in, but you'll get the hang of it.
All right. Okay. Bring this. Oh. Oh no, I did unmute. Okay. Bring this down back down here. Man. So, you know.
What is on your mind, Sarah?
Before you arrived, Morbius said the tacos have an invigorating mouthfeel. Deadpool and I both laughed. For very different reasons, I assure you.
That was...
What is on your mind, Sarah?
Wow.
Enjoy the party, kiddo. We don't get too many of these.
Okay, he's definitely wandering around out there. Trying to get in. I can hear his jingle. Hey, bud. Okay. I guess that was his jingle leaving. Anyway. Back to the party. I'll bring him in after we're totally done. I'll be honest, I thought we'd be done by now. I didn't think this... I honestly thought this was going to be a walk outside and, like, have one conversation with Carol and then, like, basically turn the game off. This is very nice. I am baffled why some people are not at the party, especially someone that can't resist a party like Tony, but whatever. Especially since they brought all the voice actors back for New Line, so, like... I don't know, man.
Hunter? You must have slipped.
I'm glad to at least see the characters at this fucking spot for once. What if he had bought it?
The real Ileana would never enjoy herself at a party.
That's true, we established
I
that.
can enjoy parties if they are small and have nothing to do with me.
So, are you enjoying the party?
Meh. I'm here for tacos. And to say, you did good, Hunter.
Aww.
I was not there at Dracula's end. The others deserve your praise.
I forgot you're allergic to compliments. For once,
But also, yeah, but I wasn't there.
Recognize what you have done. Look at Blade. He led the team that stopped Dracula, something he has long desired. But how? He could not stand Deadpool, thought Morbius was on the verge of losing himself to bloodlust. And can you picture Blade rescuing Eddie Brock just because Peter Parker asked?
And what about Storm?
He respects her. He would not have wanted to add "stop a vampire blood apocalypse" to her many burdens. But you changed this. You bring us all together. Show the prickliest cacti among us we can do more than just
That's a good angle.
alone. You think you were not present to stop Dracula's threat? But you were, in spirit. Blade led the team the way you lead us. So yes, Hunter, you did good. Now go get a taco.
Yeah.
Any plans to smash something and spray everyone around you?
Not counting surprise cannonballs into the grotto? Niet. Tacos come pre-smooshed. Kersplosh! Kersplosh!
Stop, Logan.
I was told you are a real party animal, Logan.
Depends on your definition of a party.
Does this not qualify?
Looks like plenty of food. Could go for something other than root beer, though.
At least you are among friends.
You got me there. It's a solid group. Even that nutjob Merc can hold his own.
Apple is slowly growing on everyone.
Yeah, like mold. Told Dahlia what happened. You can already hear it in her voice. That weight on her shoulders is gone.
I know what it is like to be constantly on
It
guard.
doesn't feel like...
Mutant or not, it comes with the
I'll
territory.
let him finish.
Yes, but how many people are pursued by supernatural fiends?
Just enough to keep us running around every night.
For a notoriously surly warrior, I find you are surprisingly pragmatic.
Yeah, I get that way after a few root beers.
Then let us share another round.
You're on, bub.
The way that they've managed to wrap this all around to be about bolstering not just the character arcs of the characters in the past, not just about Deadpool's arc, Eddie's arc, Storm's arc, and
My symbiote's giant tongue lets us taste more flavor.
Morbius.
Not in a creepy way.
The fact that they managed to stretch this around in such a way to also be about Blade, like a character from the base game, it's like really well done and well threaded, and all I'm gonna say is it doesn't feel like... It feels like they told a substantial story arc across 4 parts that had a genuine culmination that was very exciting, and fed into the stories and the characters that we already had in a good, natural way, and it embedded itself into the core narrative in a way that made it feel like it was always there. And it doesn't feel like they did that just to do it. It feels like they figured out a formula for how to do it and bring it all together in a cohesive way and, like, make it feel essential, right? It does feel essential. But even more than whether or not it feels essential, you son of a bitch. Even more than if it does or doesn't feel essential, like, it feels like this is a formula that they could do again for another pass. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't feel like something that's a one-off.
You got any chocolate? Feel a craving coming on. Oh man, have you tried these tacos? What's in them?
You could ask Deadpool, but I do not think you will get a straight answer.
You know, I don't care.
And all I wanted,
beats eating
by the way,
vampires at this point.
was for them to, you know...
I ingested so many vampire guts, I'm worried I might turn into a vampire.
That is not how it works. You must also be bitten by a vampire.
Hunter, we've been fighting vamps for ages. I've been chewed on more than a well-used dog bone.
I just think especially think it's funny that earlier in this stream I was like, it's so weird that they never even entertain walking over to the food truck. It's like, well, actually, the food truck is a central piece of the party. And now it makes sense, right? Like, imagine if you did have that. Imagine if you didn't have that. I actually wonder what happens if you do get this far without buying the food truck. I can't imagine anybody ever would, but, like, I kind of wonder what would happen. Yeah, I just think they've threaded this in so well, so naturally, and they did a great job of making it feel like a thing that you really should be there for. And that makes me happy, right? But it also, more than that, even that, makes me actively resentful at the idea that a company that is as rich as 2K, that owns fucking GTA, and makes as many zillions of dollars as they do over the course of how many years that they've made it, the idea that they would not give this a measly second season or expansion or whatever the hell the devs want to do, which they clearly want to do. You can very much see that. I don't think it's doom and gloom, especially now that they actually teased more story at the end. That was kind of my big thing, was like, if they tease more story at the end of this, then it's over, right? It's happening. At least that's how I feel. Like, I know I probably shouldn't get my hopes up, but at the same time, Christopher Odd teasing that it might not be the end in his showcase video for Storm, the devs refusing to say that it's the last piece of content, actively twice saying it's the last end of our first season of content, and then following that up with the final character of season 1, right? Like, they did it twice. 2 of them did it, and no one came from off stage to be like, actually, you shouldn't say that. Because they clearly want to, right? And I don't know, listen, if you're not gonna get to make more, why would you put another story hook at the end of the last part of this DLC? Now, that being said, one thing I'm noticing is that they've now set up Sin as the Red Skull, Red Daughter, whatever they call her. I forget what her actual name is when she's Sin. I can't remember if that's actually what they stick with. If they just stick with Sin or not, or something else. I honestly forget. But, like, that... Spoilers again, but I mean, if you're watching this, you already know that this is full of spoilers. Doom, who was actively teased not just at the end of the base game, but also in the Deadpool DLC. It would be pretty cool, I think, if Sin... The way that they've threaded it in now, it feels like when they do more story, it has to be post-game, right? It has to be. Now, there is always the possibility that they're working on a full sequel, and that's where the Doom stuff would be. And maybe Season 2 would actually be more of a, Season 2 would be more of a, how do I put this? It would be it would be another inside story to the main narrative. And that would be okay. I still wouldn't mind that. I think that would still be pretty cool. I love how much threading they've done to make all the DLC characters feel like a part of the main cast and like they're present for the entire thrust of the story. I can't wait to start the game from scratch on a new save that's not a New Game Plus save. Now that all the content is here, I feel no particular... there's no anchor over my neck stopping me from playing it, right? Or all the DLC that I've already bought, right? So that's very exciting. But I also think that, it'll be cool. It'll be cool going through it from scratch and seeing how it feels when they're all there from the beginning moments, from the very first moments that they can be there. Especially if Storm actually can be gotten much earlier, which I'm still kind of unclear on, to be honest. It certainly seems like she clearly has dialogue. The mission that you get her, right? Like Logan calls Magic on the phone, and it feels like it's something that would happen the first time you met Wolverine. It doesn't seem like something that would happen right after he joined. Why would he call her on the phone like that? Well, actually, no, it's not weird that he would call her on the phone. It's weird that the first line out of her mouth is, "How did you get this number?" Like, how would he not have it? Or like, what? It's more a thing of like, if you all live in the Abbey, of course that you have each other's numbers. That's dumb, right? But if it's meant to be in Act 1, then that makes a lot more sense. But still, it doesn't feel like a finale. It feels like they've teased more. I mean, we're still not even done here. There's still more. Not much more, but there's still more.
Do not worry. If you turn, I will put you down myself.
I didn't know that was going to be that intense.
Thanks, I think.
I'm sure Blade has a wooden stake on hand. We could stab each other apart and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm good.
Eddie, I am not actually worried about you turning into a vampire. Do you know why? Vampires do not crave tacos.
That's the only thing?
Really?
Yes. Do you see Blade or Morbius eating tacos?
No, but I just thought they were on some kind of special diet.
In a way, they are.
Blood. Oh. Except for, Blade.
Well, in that case, I'm going back for thirds.
Last time we had a party, things went south. But don't worry. I've counted at least 6 ways I can spice things up.
If they do more, it would be very cool. I don't know how you would thread it. You'd need to record quite a few extra lines. Though, I mean, I guess if you're making more content, you already have the guys in the booth anyway. Let me put it this way. Let's say Season 2, whatever you want to call it, is integrated into the campaign itself. And it's not a post-game thing. It's not dealing with the Doom and Sin stuff. Let's say it is actually, it's another whatever you want to call it, right? I hope, let's say, for sake of argument, Moon Knight, Elsa, Black Panther, and Moon Knight. Did I say Daredevil in there? Moon Knight, Daredevil, Elsa Bloodstone, and Black Panther. Those are the 4 I think are most likely, if they do more. They just sort of fit the pattern. Also, Moon Knight's like by far the most fucking requested character. So he's like a shoo-in. I literally need Moon Knight in this game, and then it'll be complete. They can do whatever the fuck they want after that. Once Moon Knight's here, that's fine. He should have been in the base game. There was no reason he shouldn't have been in the base game. If you put Moon Knight in the game, I can live with it forever. I'll live with it. I'll deal with it. It's fine. Unfulfilled story or not, whatever. You gave it to me. It's fine. Anyways, back to my point. It'd be very cool if those characters show up at this party that closes out the season 1 story arc. That would be a very cool touch. But yeah, I hope in the coming days they just fucking put out a Twitter post that just says, more content is coming! Eventually! That's all I need. I don't need you to tell me what's in it. I don't need you to confirm who the characters would be yet. Maybe you don't even know yet. Just fucking either dash my hopes into a million pieces or fucking lift me up again. I don't know. Just don't leave me in this awful in-between space where I don't know. It's the worst. Anyway, Deadpool, keep going.
Let us just enjoy the party without any surprises.
Relax, Hunter. I'm not gonna pull any tricks. Oh, that reminds me. I took on a gig to be a magician once. Guess where I pulled the rabbit from?
Deadpool, stop.
I do not wish to know.
Your loss. Look, I'm just stoked to see a bunch of vampire-killing weenies let loose. It's about time those sticks got removed from their pants.
We are here to celebrate our victory. It is an appropriate time to be loose.
Our victory? I know you weren't there when we smoked Dracula, but I did, like, all of the heavy lifting.
You got your leg broken in 2 seconds!
No one else came home with a broken leg.
Neither did you.
Shh. I'm trying to make a point.
Team effort or not, I'm still proud of you.
If only I could get my parents to say the same thing.
How did you get a truck into the Abbey?
Well, this is only just coming up!
I just showed Magic the menu and she opened a portal. No questions asked. I'm kind of annoyed. I'd prepared a whole dance routine and everything. Oh, in the finale, I was going to strap sparklers to my...
Very interesting. So, the truck, is it here to stay?
How has this never come up before?
That depends on whether you-know-who decides to spend that sweet, sweet in-game...
Okay, so the truck would be... Okay, so that's...
Oh, I wasn't talking to you.
So the truck would be here if you, So the truck would actually be here if you didn't buy it.
I have nothing more to... Wait, did I do that bit already?
You did that bit already, yeah.
If you eat anything off the truck, stay out of the water. Unless you want to tempt fate. Or end the party. If you eat anything off the truck, stay out of the water. Unless you want to tempt fate. Or end the party early. If you're bored, we can have us... If you eat anything off the truck, stay out of the water.
I really love the Deadpool tier now. It's just... He's such a weirdo. And it's so nice to have just such a complete freakazoid here. Oh, man. And I really do love how he plays, despite some hang-ups. Oh, that's another thing. They released real-ass patch notes today, which is the first time they've ever done that. Why would you start doing real patch notes now if the plan was to never patch the game again or just drop it? It doesn't make sense. They've been dropping patches for months where they said nothing about what they fixed. So why would you start now unless the game was, you know, going to stick around? That's all I'm saying. There's a weird sense that the game might have actually just snapped back up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Are you having a good time?
Hey. Yeah, it's good seeing everyone again.
What does your day-to-day look like since being away?
It's been busy, that's for sure. Being away from Xavier's school makes me a little antsy, but I could use the break. I've got to remember how to socialize like a normal person.
Have you been stressed?
Kinda, but it's a good stress. Introducing the Morlocks to the mutants has been hard, but really rewarding.
They could not have asked for a better mediator.
Storm was right about you being a big flatterer, huh?
I hope you have been well. I know you were apprehensive about the changes to your body.
Was she not purple before?
I'm doing as well as expected for someone who was tortured by vampires. Speaking of... Thanks for taking care of Dracula and Sin. Wish I could have been there to see them get what they deserved.
Of course. We could not let them get away after what they did to you.
Like it or not, they left an impression. I'm dealing, but it's getting a little better each day.
That is a relief. I hope being here and enjoying the party helps.
Yeah, time to make awkward small talk.
Take care, Dahlia.
Nice little extra character on
You
the
too,
way out.
Hunter. I hope we meet again.
I'm certain we will.
If the potential season 2 does have okay. Tears of the Kingdom was just processed in Mississauga at 12:57. For whatever reason, the fucking expected delivery now says Tuesday, but it's in Mississauga, which is like barely 40 minutes from here on a truck. So I think it's probably going to be fine.
Great party. So what's
Anyway, yeah, if the game does get a second season,
I'm certain
I am
looking forward to
I imagine that if it does get a second season, I imagine it will be probably a in-between story. If they want to keep Doom for a sequel, whatever they want to call it, Midnight Suns 2, maybe they want to change the setup. I've seen a lot of people optioning, why don't you make it a Fantastic Four game, call it Fantastic Four, and just have it be the kind of the same setup where a bunch of other characters are there. You know? And I would love, the Fantastic Four has such a revolving door of cast members anyways, despite, the numbering in the title. So that wouldn't be that weird.
Don't ask to see what's under the mask. I'll blind you with my good.
You finally got to take down Dracula.
And it felt good.
Now we can celebrate our accomplishments.
I know we're supposed to be relaxing, but I still can't shake the feeling he's gonna rise up from that coffin.
I did not get to go with you. We can go back and make sure he is truly dead.
That's a no-go. The place is practically rubble now.
See? Then you have nothing to worry about if Dracula is trapped in a coffin and underground.
Yeah, all right. That helps.
I wish I could have seen Dracula's face after being bested by you.
It's gonna feed my ego for weeks.
Good.
Nothing can bring me down now.
Remember, you did not do all this on your own.
This weird-ass crew we put together did some good. Not in any rush to work with some of them again, though.
You can just say Deadpool. He will not be offended.
You read my mind. There's 2 months I'll never get back.
Well, dang. That was the party, I guess.
Oh, sorry about that.
What is...
Enjoy.
Yeah, slightly bummed we didn't get to talk to Kat, or Tony, or Wanda, even, or Nico. A little weirded out they didn't want to join in, but
Has it really been too...
Have you ever been home to Transia, Hunter? It used to be lovely.
Man, I
just Robbie, what was Robbie not doing at the party?
I thanked you for...
Carol,
Yeah?
now that Dracula is gone, what will become of the new breed vampires?
I was wondering the exact same thing, and... Wait, no. I was wondering why we're talking shop at a Flurkin party. Did you not hear that we have tacos? Go get them.
Carol.
Man, what a wonderful send-off, if this is it. At the same time, it doesn't really feel like a closing act. It feels like there's still more to say. Whether or not that is a proper expansion. Here's the thing! Something occurred to me, which is that the amount of havens you get perfectly slotted for the amount of characters that you can go on haven trips with. I actually realized that earlier today. One haven, no haven because you can't go to havens with Bruce. Haven. No haven because of course you can't. You go to every haven with yourself, so of course it doesn't matter. So yeah, every character you can go had a Haven space in the base game, because there were 4 left over originally. So yeah, that means that the game is perfectly built with 15 in mind, and there are 15 characters that you basically have friendship meters with, because Bruce doesn't get one. That's interesting, but that would also mean if they made more, they, by necessity, either A, have to do an expansion that expands the world, so to speak, or they have to... One second. Oh, fuck. It's a road that leads straight outward this way. Like, literally a road line that stops. And there's like it's a weird gap. This is where more Abbey would go. Maybe this whole area gets filled out. Maybe even up here. They have space to fill. They can fill out. I'm gonna say it's probably this though, because this is kind of cuts into that, I guess. Wow, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. So yeah, that's Abbey space that they can fill up if they really want to. They could put 4 new Havens here if they wanted. However many they'd need, basically. That'd be pretty cool if they added like a spot here.
He does not seem interested in...
Oh, suddenly the Abbey's open. Or maybe that spot, they just pretend that it was always open, you just never went there, right? Yeah, I think that would be most likely. Because they need to put in more Haven spots if they're gonna be able to have additional characters, so... You have to make more Abbey if you make more season at this point, because they were able to bake those Havens into the base game. Because they knew it was coming. But yeah, they would have to make more Abbey this time as well. Yeah, I think... Man, this is really one of my favorite games I've ever made. It's so great. I love it. And I loved every minute of spending time with these characters in this world, and I don't want this to be the end. I don't know if I could deal with that being the end. If this was my dream game from the minute it was, from long before it was announced, it was like a drop in my eye, like the hypothetical perfect reality where this game existed. I saw it. A strategy game with all of these characters, and it's 10 times better than any of my wildest dreams from the single best team that could have ever made it in the world. And, like, they really should have just put it out in January when they could have marketed it better instead of the Christmas rush. They really should have done that. But they understand that, seemingly, so all I'm gonna say is, like I said, the company that owns GTA can sure as hell afford one measly second season pass. They can fucking afford it. Like, I'm sorry, they can.
I have lots to talk about.
I ain't much of a conversationalist.
Well,
More of a fighter.
looks like we have
Sorry if I went a little heavy.
officially...
Hey, old fellow.
Looks like we have officially run out of content.
Finally, some action! I thought my dry spell was never gonna end.
Storm was a phenomenal addition to the game. I loved every aspect of her coming in here. I think they did a great job with her character. I think they did a great job with all of the wonderful things they added. That's another great palette. That's another great palette. Stage Shift, Royalty, Livewire. Yeah, I think they did a phenomenal job with this. That's another really cool look, honestly. Dark Tidings is another good one. Scorcher, Stealth Suit. That's another good one. Yeah, I love all of those. That's basically everything I would like to see Storm wear every now and then. So yeah, I'm going to be able to play this game whenever I want again. That's going to rule. What is Charlie doing up here? I've never seen Charlie sit here. The Advanced Threat Room's a really great addition. It's frankly something that was hilariously overdue. Yeah. I just gotta hand it to everything awesome about this game. They blew it out of the park. If this really is it, then I hate literally everyone on Earth that allowed this to happen. And I will suffocate you slowly until your last breath. But only because I'm sad. And I don't want it to be over, and you might notice that I'm still not ended the recording, and that's because I don't want to say goodbye, but I have to.
That is something.
They added, since this season started, since the game launched with an incredible roster and an incredible story, they have added Deadpool and his weird fucking turducken truck that finally became relevant at the very last minute.
Chaos magic is a huge drain.
Where the fuck is Deadpool? He's up there practicing. Right. They added the Merc with the Mouth. They added a fucking unbelievable, and a really fitting set of mechanics for him. That was like a very how do I put this? It's a very fucking. It's a gimmicky setup, and it feels like like Deadpool probably should. They added Venom. They gave him a proper redemption arc after his part in the main story. That feels very good and well-threaded and honest. And honestly, my favorite version of Eddie Brock to date. I think most of these versions of these characters are pretty much my favorite versions of the characters to date. It gave me stuff with Eddie Brock I've wanted to see for years, which is like him and Peter finding common ground and like growing and even becoming kind of friends. Like, I've wanted that for so long. They added Morbius, which was the most why would you even do that after the movie thing imaginable. And not only did they sell it, they reminded us that he was basically the only character he's arguably the only character on that pass that should have been in the base game, because he's one of the original founding Midnight Suns. So, yeah, of course, keep him there. To the point where they even have his fucking original costume from that run. The game doesn't deserve to go away. It doesn't. It truly doesn't. Everything about it is special. Everything about it is fantastic. It is... Every time I see people talking about, like, oh yeah, it's gonna be one of those cult classics that, like, in 8 to 10 years we get a sequel, I think a part of me snaps. We'll get, like, a cult follow-up. Like, a pseudo-sequel that's not actually in the same universe. And, like, I want to snap your neck when you say that. I want to hurt you. Because I don't want that. I want to keep going. I want the game... Look, I don't need it to have fucking 36 seasons. I don't need it to have 50 characters by the end. I don't need this game to go on for years. I need it to have one more season. I need it to fill out these doors. I need to know who fucking sleeps in there. And 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 even if we want to say this is the kitchen or whatever, like this is a conjoined bathroom or whatever the fuck you want to say, I want to know who lives in there. And in there. And in there. And in there. And I will call that a satisfied life. But the fucking doors are there! They were there since launch! They weren't added later! I'm on my knees, man. The fuck is this 2K CEO's name? Zelnick? I'll suck your dick, man. I don't care. I'm desperate. And you know what? That's okay. I'm allowed to be. You just get over here, unzip. I'll do whatever it takes. But also, you're a fucking piece of shit if you have GTA money and you can't give whatever these fucking people need the paltry sum they would need compared to that enormous 80 billion dump trucks full of $80 billion money
It's a comforting aura.
to make one fucking more season of this show. This game. Come on. You can't be... Marvel, you let the fucking Avengers game go for 3 years. You can't tell me on a much bigger budget. You can't tell me you can't give this one more run. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that the company that makes fucking GTA can't afford it. Fuck off. Anyway. I don't want to end this on a downer note or a demanding note. I want to end this on a note where I look you in the eye, figuratively speaking, and tell you that I fucking love this game. And I'm going to play it a bazillion times and never get bored. I can't wait to get back to this playthrough when some other stuff like Tears of the Kingdom is cleared off my plate. Maybe we can make this easier. Maybe I'll just hate it. Maybe I'll hate it and then I'll just send it back like I did fucking Breath of the Wild because I hated it. I don't know, man. It sounds like they got real dungeons this time. That's what I wanted. So, I don't know. We'll see. So, look. Whatever happens, I will hold it over Marvel and 2K's head for the rest of my life because there is no explanation. Low sales, like... We're talking about Firaxis. They've made a lot more in a lot less situations. So, yeah. That, very possibly, is the end of Midnight Suns. A fact that I would be enormously devastated if we're actually true. But, you know. No, Alexa, go away. Go away! I would be enormously devastated. But, you don't always get what you want in life, right? It's funny how I prepped this stream like crazy in such a way that would allow me to do it, you know, faster than the other ones. And here I am coming up on an hour and a half over 11 and a half. Like, yeah. Did I make 2 parts for the Morbius one? I don't remember. But either way, this ended up being the longest one, which is hilarious. Yeah. I'm sure you can tell that I'm fucking afraid to turn the stream off because it might be goodbye And I don't want it to be goodbye. But, yeah. I may in fact be Depresso Espresso. But I might not be. And there's a little too much writing on the wall. If they made the teases that they've made, if Odd made the tease he made, if the devs made the teases they made on this live stream, if this fucking DLC made the teases that it made at the end of the end of the fucking story arc, and had no intention to do more, I hate all of you people. Like, fuck you. For building me up just to break me again. So you fucking better be doing this shit. Finish what you started. God damn it. Please. You deserve to. The world deserves to have such a great game finish its lifespan the right way it clearly intended to. The game was designed from the outset to have at least roughly 25 characters. That's what they said. Give it 4 more, it'll have 21. That's good enough. I can live with that. I think everyone could. Maybe you do a sequel after that, maybe you don't. I think you should, but, yeah. Hell, maybe you don't do a sequel at all, maybe you cram it all into a post-game expansion. That'd be cool. If they did that, I wouldn't be streaming it, though. At least not all the way through, most likely, because I imagine that's a big piece of content. But who knows? Who knows what happens? I should stop stalling. I have stuff to go watch. I have stuff I need to go take care of now that I'm... Again, this took a lot longer than I thought, so now I have to go do... I'm not even going to be able to hop on with my pals tonight, because I'm clearly behind now, so, yeah. Especially, I need to be not behind before tomorrow morning, if Zelda's actually coming, so, yeah. It's funny how I was able to over-prepare this. Well, I mean, I guess the answer is that there was an entire extra story bit I had to do at the start of the stream, and there was a whole extra story bit at the end of the stream that lasted me basically another hour and a half. So no shit, it took longer. Yeah. Incredible first season. The Vampyres were a great addition to the game. I can't wait to keep playing the game and seeing what else the DLC characters do with the way that they integrate into the main campaign. I love this game to pieces. Please don't be goodbye. But if it is, my hat is off to everyone that made such a fucking fantastic piece of work. And to everyone that didn't give it a chance because of the cards, you're a fucking pussy. And I hate you. And to everyone that did give it a chance, to a shitload of people that showed up and did give it a chance and had a great time, even though not everybody loved it, but an enormous amount of people found it to be enormously enriching and engaging. You're the coolest for jumping out of your comfort zones and being a real one. That's what matters. You showed up to something that you thought might not be your thing, came away with a new favorite thing. That's what it's all about. Not like those fucking losers who are like, oh, cards, oh, gross. You're a fucking pussy. That's what you are. You're a fucking pussy. Quit being afraid of cards, you fucking pussy. That's my final note. Quit being a fucking pussy, CEO of 2K. Who has so much infinite GTA money dollars that he'll be set for life, forever. You can greenlight a measly second season of content. It's what Stan Lee would've wanted! Okay. I can't sit here and ramble forever, as much as I would like to.
I haven't been here long, but it feels like home.
You know what, Storm? I agree. I don't know if I've agreed with anything anyone in this game has ever said more than that. Not a single word. I'm now stalling for time as the game saves. Not a single word. But I'm happy regardless. Thanks for closing us out. Have a good night. And I hope that the Abbey is as much of a home to you as it has been to me. Goodbye. Hopefully not forever. See ya.